Number 9. Robert Lockhart. In 2016, 86-year-old Robert Lockhart felt that he needed to settle a score with his neighbor, Jennifer Lockhart, who is also his niece. He waited outside the 58-year-old woman's Marion County, Florida home, waiting for her to return. When she arrived, Lockhart fired 2 bullets into her. He also shot her dog. Sadly, the dog died. As Jennifer lay injured in the driveway, Lockhart returned to the scene after allegedly going home to reload his gun and tried to shoot her again. But the gun malfunctioned, so he just went home. When police came for him, he surrendered peacefully and was charged with attempted murder. At his first hearing, Detective Aaron Levy told the judge that Jennifer was afraid of her uncle and feared that he would come after her if he was released on bail. Levy also said that Lockhart shot his niece because he thought she had stolen a credit card from him and done something to his garage. Lockhart's bail was set at $250,000. He denied going home to reload his gun and said that he regretted shooting Jennifer and would like to see his niece and brother, whom he was banned from interacting with at the time. It's unclear how the case played out, but hopefully the family hired a professional to help them work through their dysfunction if they tried to reconcile at any point. Number 8. Charlotte Simpson. The police weren't just going to go away when the driver of a green minivan failed to pull over for officers 2 years ago in London, Kentucky. They followed the vehicle until it pulled into a driveway and found 2 female occupants, 32-year-old Rebecca Jean Foltz and her mother, 69-year-old Charlotte Simpson. Officers originally only meant to pull the van over for a simple traffic stop, but they quickly learned that the 2 women had outstanding bench warrants. Things quickly escalated when Rebecca refused to exit the vehicle, and they took a bizarre turn when Charlotte told the police that there was a baby in the van. But the child's safety seat was empty, and at first glance, there was no signs of the infant. Deputies rifled through the garbage-filled, insect-infested vehicle filled with bags of trash and clothing. They found a 16-day-old baby boy on the floor between the 2 front seats, with ants crawling all over him. He was dehydrated and was having trouble breathing, according to a Facebook post by the Laurel County Sheriff's Office, which also noted that the van had no air conditioning. A deputy drove the ambulance to the emergency room so that both paramedics on duty could tend to the ailing child. Police arrested Foltz and Simpson on a slew of charges, including first-degree criminal child abuse. In a jailhouse interview with WKYT, Foltz claimed that the officers exaggerated her son's condition, stating that he had just a few heat bumps on him, and she argued that she is a good mom, but she declined to explain why the baby was not in his car seat. Meanwhile, Simpson told interviewers that Rebecca was a good mother, but also didn't offer up an explanation for the condition the baby was found in. Number 7. Doris Payne. Doris Payne is a seasoned jewel thief and a con artist from West Virginia, whose track record spans most of her adult life and a big portion of the globe. For 60 years, she made a living by stealing luxury goods. Her life of crime began during the 1950s. Over the following decades, Payne used at least 20 aliases and 5 social security numbers to carry out her robberies and scams. During the 1970s, she allegedly stole a 10-carat diamond ring worth $500,000 in Monte Carlo. Payne fled to France, but was extradited back to Monte Carlo, where police held her for 9 months. They tried but failed to recover the ring and had no choice but to release the savvy shoplifter. Payne escaped federal custody at least once and had also been arrested in Greece, France, Britain, and Switzerland. Her crimes continued even as she entered her senior years, landing her in and out of prison and on probation numerous times. Judges have ordered her to stay away from jewelry stores, but she hasn't listened so far. In 2015, at the age of 85, she visited a jewelry store at a mall in Charlotte, North Carolina, and made off with a $33,000 ring. 2 years later, Payne stole $86 worth of merchandise from a Walmart while wearing an ankle monitoring bracelet for her previous arrest. A 2013 Netflix documentary called The Life and Crimes of Doris Payne detailed the woman's extensive rap sheet both in the US and abroad. In it, she claims to have stolen over $2 million worth of jewels, stating, "There's never been a day that I went to steal that I did not get what I went to do." Number 6. Michael Swanson. Earlier this year, police in Midwest City, Oklahoma, received a panic call from Jackie Roller. She said that a relative, 69-year-old Michael Swanson, had shot her 13-year-old grandson, Chris. When officers arrived, Swanson told them that he was either going to commit suicide or the police would have to kill him to get him because he wasn't going to go back to prison. He initially held the victims hostage inside the house, but eventually let them go. An hours-long standoff ensued. Tear gas was deployed, eventually managed to get Swanson out of the house. Chris told police that Swanson shot him after the two got into an argument. When his grandmother arrived home, Swanson reportedly told her that she might want to go talk to her grandson, stating, "You may want to go ask him how he is. I shot him." Swanson allegedly told Jackie that he wasn't done shooting Chris and that he was going to do it again in front of her. Then, he said he was going to kill the entire family. Thankfully, they were able to call the police and get to safety. The boy's aunt, Christina Slimmer, told local station KFOR that Swanson had started acting strange after moving in with the family and that they suspected him of being on drugs. He was charged with shooting with intent to kill and for being a felon in possession of a firearm. Do you think this old man belongs in the loony bin or jail? Let us know in the comments below, and if you're liking the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe button if you haven't already. Number 5. Grandpa Woodstock. A man named Grandpa Woodstock has been a fixture of the town of Woodstock in Ulster County, New York, since the 1990s. With long hair, a gray beard, and wizard-like clothing, he's impossible to miss. He's known for riding around on his adult-sized tricycle and standing barefoot while flashing peace signs at cars and honking a bicycle horn attached to a wooden staff. The man's real name is Alan M. Richardson. The New York Times described the eccentric character as one of the last remaining holdouts of the town's dwindling hippie community. Grandpa Woodstock told the New York Times that he moved there to recapture the feel of the 1969 music festival. For a long time, he lived with Grandma Woodstock, a woman 20 years older than him and equally as eccentric. The couple's peaceful existence was interrupted in 2014 when police charged the 70-year-old hippie icon with selling marijuana and other drugs. He had fallen under the investigation after numerous locals complained about him selling to teens, and undercover agents made several controlled buys leading up to the arrest. Grandpa Woodstock pleaded guilty to misdemeanor charges and received 3 years probation. Much to his dismay, he had to submit to weekly drug tests. He was also banned from seeing Grandma Woodstock, and the couple went their separate ways. Richardson defended his actions, claiming that he only sold pot to teens whose parents knew they were buying it and trusted him as a safe source. But attitudes towards marijuana are becoming more favorable in the state of New York, where recreational use was legalized this year. Based on the change, Grandpa Woodstock could possibly fight to get his conviction overturned. Number 4. Leroy Michener. Earlier this year, authorities in Raleigh, North Carolina, arrested 75-year-old Leroy Michener for allegedly shooting and injuring someone in the middle of the street. Thankfully, the victim survived. Mr. Michener was charged with assault with a dangerous weapon, inflicting serious injury. Articles about his arrest don't divulge many details, but it's safe to say that things could have turned out much worse for the senior citizen if his victim had died. And for some elderly people, it has. Take, for example, 86-year-old Thomas Hatchett of Manchester, New Jersey, who fatally shot his 71-year-old landlord, Igil Haddad, in 2019. Police found Hatchett's victim lying face down in the street, with blood pouring from bullet wounds to his head and back. They connected Hatchett to the crime scene and apprehended him. He reportedly admitted to planning the murder and waiting outside Haddad's residence in anticipation of carrying out the sinister crime. Hatchett rejected a plea deal and pleaded guilty to murder. He received a 10-year prison sentence. Considering his age, that means he'll most likely spend the rest of his life behind bars. Number 3. Linda Kennison. A 58-year-old grandmother from Connecticut named Linda Kennison made headlines on Thanksgiving this year when she was arrested in connection with the death of her 6-week-old grandson. Just days earlier, her daughter Crystal had dialed 911 and reported that her baby was pale and that there was stuff coming out of his nose, but that he was breathing lightly. He was rushed to the hospital, where he died a few days later. A post-mortem examination found no clear signs of abuse. Kennison told investigators that she and Crystal had found the baby in his distressed state after placing him in a bassinet, but the woman's stories didn't add up, so detectives pushed harder for information, hoping one of them would crack. Crystal allegedly admitted that she had smothered the boy for 20 minutes until he stopped moving because she was stressed out about life. She already had one child to take care of and didn't feel like she could handle another. When her son became still, she reportedly put him in a swing and simply carried on with her day. Kennison, who was at the home that day, admitted that she knew the baby wasn't breathing, but claimed that she had no idea Crystal had hurt him. They tried putting food in the child's mouth to make it look like he was alive and well, but it didn't work. When the deranged mother-daughter duo finally decided to call 911, Kennison allegedly told Crystal to lie to the police to avoid losing custody of her other child. During the call, she followed her mother's advice and claimed that the baby was breathing lightly, but this clearly wasn't the case according to prosecutors. Police charged Crystal with first-degree murder, and Kennison was charged with risking injury to a child. Number 2. Judith Black. Judith Black of Pine Ridge, Florida, became the latest viral Karen in May of this year when she allegedly hurled racist slurs at a Burger King employee. She also threw her Whopper at her because she disapproved of the thickness of the sandwich sliced tomatoes. She then fled the scene. Police were called to the restaurant, where the employee accused the 77-year-old of using several racist names against her, both before and after whipping the Whopper at her. Witnesses confirmed the worker's claims, and surveillance footage proved that Judith did indeed throw the sandwich. When police caught up with her, she reportedly admitted to throwing the Whopper and using racial slurs. She was charged with battery, which would have normally been a misdemeanor, but Judith's bigoted remarks earned her an upgrade to a felony charge. The senior citizen was released on $2,500 bail. If convicted, she could face up to 5 years in prison. And number 1, Edie Sims. Edie Sims stayed out of trouble her entire life, and she always wondered what it was like to be arrested. She finally found out in 2016 when officers picked her up at her home in St. Louis County, Missouri, and put her in the back of a squad car. They even handcuffed her at her request because she had never had the pleasure of being cuffed before. Instead of actually arresting Edie, the police department arranged to drive her to a local senior center with her knitted goods. Over the previous 2 years, she had crafted over 400 of the handmade items for the senior citizens there, including lamp robes, scarves, pot holders, eyeglass cases, and walker bags. But she had never delivered her creations in person until the day the cops showed up for her. Whenever local station KTVI asked Edie if she enjoyed her ride, she said, "Oh yes, handcuffs and all." She added a few words of wisdom about the importance of doing community service and how it enables you to help people who may not have received it otherwise. Most of us would like to forget any run-ins we may have had with the law, and the community tends to look down on someone for these types of encounters. But this is one close call with the law that many will count as a good memory. Thanks for watching. Do you have any other stories about senior citizens go wrong that you think belongs on this list? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.